We're having a great fucking night. 41st episode of the Bayside Report. This is our Dirk Nowitzki episode. Preseason football is back in full swing. We'll have our recap from the Steeler-Buccaneer game for you. You and your co-ed kickball league tonight. You've been crushing it. Your team's going, you're 7-2 in the league so far, your co-ed kickball league. You're all drinking fucking IPAs and talking about your issues with your IT jobs. Because you're that typical Gen Z millennial living the life. Living the life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe you're going to listen to I'm going to need some whiskey glasses because I don't want to see the truth. Or maybe you're going to be listening to some Last Night We Let the Laker Talk this weekend. I don't know. A lot of country fans in the mix. Summer is the peak of the country fan, so they got to get it while they can. Welcome to the show. I hope you listen to this on your way into work tomorrow, perhaps, while you're getting... I don't know. The road rage has been awful lately. We'll get into that later. And it's always the fucking old white woman. I don't get it. Old white women, especially here in Florida, just have the worst fucking road rage tailgate syndrome. Book the Cameo, book the YouTube, the Cameo King. You know where to find me. The best in the game, baby. The best in the game. YouTube's been blowing up. Prices going up, views going up, subscribers going up. So we got 60,000 already alone this month. And we're only 17 days in. So shout out to all the fucking YouTube faithful. But just like that, everyone, we are into our news update. Malaysia Airlines. There's a Malaysia airline. They're just the fucking mush. They're the mush airline all time. There's always an issue, whether it's planes disappearing into other dimensions. You know, they still haven't found that plane that disappeared. I think it was an alien. I think we're starting to find out it was an alien disappearance. But this guy was on a Malaysia Air, an 8-hour flight from Sydney, Australia to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. 3 hours in the flight, he just got up and started causing shit, saying he had a bomb in his backpack. So they have to turn around, go back to Sydney, fly another 3 hours back, arrest him, drop him off, causing all issues, disruptions, delays, etc., etc. at the airport. What a fucking... Oh, we would have hog-tied that dude. No, we're not fucking turning around. We would have hog-tied him. We're going to fucking Malaysia. Take care of him in Malaysia. They'll probably fucking behead him in Malaysia. Why didn't they just go to Malaysia and let him be handled there? It's a Malaysian Airlines flight. You think that would make sense? Maui wildfires. It's been bad. So clearly our fucking administration's like, worry about sending money to Ukraine. So I'm gonna go into the Red Cross. I'm actually right there right now. Red Cross, donate to the Maui wildfires. But our hearts are with all those people in Maui as we hope they get better. Hurricane Hillary. Apparently there's a Hurricane Hillary brewing around in the Pacific coast. So hopefully that can come and hit the water down and cool that motherfucker down, get that fire in order. Trumpy Bear in jail. Is Trump in the Fulton County jail? I think Trump has been booked in jail. We need more music. Not long enough. I think Trump's in jail. I think Trump finally got booked in jail. And we'll find out more. I don't know. I mean, this is like the fifth fucking time this has happened. Women's World Cup, England versus Spain. That is Sunday at 6 a.m. The stage is set. Thank you. That was electric. That's how we inject energy. You know, like I said, maybe some of you are working a fucking night shift right now. Maybe you're a FedEx package handler. You got an AirPod in. Maybe you're DoorDash and Ubering. Maybe you're playing this for your Uber fucking customers right now, and they're like, why are we listening to this? You're going to tell them because you need it. You need it in your life. You need this energy in your life. Wherever you are, what time you are listening, we're going to bring that energy. Like I said, the road rage has been out of control lately. Everyone's been on fucking one. And I don't know what it is, but whenever it seems like every time I look in the rear view, there's a car at my ass. It's a fucking Hyundai Sonata, like a chubby, I don't know. It's just a Mexican area, but it's usually a chubby person in the Hyundai Sonata, like right up the fucking ass. I tell you what, Mexican people are intense drivers. They are very fucking aggressive. So they all, you know, this is a prominent Mexican area. A lot of them live in this community itself. And every time I'm coming out, I'm getting tailgated. The second I'm in my car and I'm going in the forward direction, there's a fucking someone tailgating me in a Hyundai Sonata. I'm telling you people, I'm driving home from work today. I swear to God, once you cross, I don't know where the switch off happens, and you wouldn't think it would be so drastic, but the bridge, there's a couple bridges that cross from Tampa mainland to Pinellas, where all the beaches are in St. Pete and Clearwater, and it's night and day once you cross those bridges. It is night and fucking day. And I wouldn't really, you'd expect it to be different, but it's super different, especially this one, the Courtney Campbell Causeway Bridge. Beautiful bridge. You got a trail, you could run. There's people running and shit. There's like the trashy bay beaches where you might pick up fucking hepatitis from being in that water. Don't go in that shit with an open cut. Don't go in it, period. Just don't go in that water, period. You don't want to go in that water. Hi, Molly. Hi, kitty. What's up? Come here. Come here, kitty. Come here. Say hi, kitty. Say hi to the podcast. Molly's been good. Molly's chilling. What do you got to say? Wave hi. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So I'm driving home from work across to Courtney Campbell. And on the Tampa side, it's great. It's great. It's classy. There's hotels and everything. It's a good area. And the people, it's a relatively, better person area than once you get over here. But once you get on this side, it's just like you pick up your meth pipe at the start of the bridge. That's what it feels like. It seems like some people just have invisible meth pipe stands that they're picking up, and they're ripping that shit, and then it's just chaos. You start getting cut off. Every single car will start cutting you off. There's this dude in this nice Cadillac, but he had the wife beater swag, like the receding hairline, buzz cut, and like more like an Italian Middle Eastern swag, honestly, but like he was fucking cut like bulk dude and like this more of like a drug dealing Middle Eastern Eastern European swagger, with a wife beater on. He's in this nice white caddy, sedan driving home. This is right off the bridge in the Clearwater side, and I'm driving right next to him. I'm passing him. He stops. The third lane of traffic next to me was more backed up to where they were stopped further behind me. So I'm still creeping up. And I had to hurry up and swerve out of my way because I almost fucking hit this dude. He swings his door open and he gets out and he starts walking towards the person in front of him to start motherfucking them. But he had to get back in his car because traffic started moving. Molly, get down. There you go. Cat. Molly's tangled. There you go. You good, honey? All right, cat's good. So he gets out. He had to get back in his car because the traffic started flowing. It wasn't, he didn't have time to go beat this person up. So I didn't get a look at the person who I assume cut him off. So I creep up to see who that person was. I love road rage drama. I fucking live for that shit. And it's a girl. It's like an 18-year-old girl in semi-tinted windows, and she's playing stupid, straightforward ahead, did it right, but. I mean, he got out of his car. Maybe he did see it was a chick. He's like, all right, yeah, I can't do that. But he just started, every 4 seconds, he just got out the window and go, bitch, fuck you. Fuck you. Every couple seconds, I loved it. And then I didn't see it. They merged right onto a highway. I think he just cut her off back and sped past her. That was it. It wasn't really, too serious other than him flinging the door open and getting out on the road and at the red light. But I wanted something, I wish it was another dude that was equally as pissed off as him. That's what you were hoping for. But once I saw it was a fucking little, teenage 20-year-old girl, I was like, fuck, we can't, nah. I was like, all right, bro, I hope you see, number one, I hope you don't do anything stupid. And I hope you see what kind of person you're dealing with before you get to that conclusion. Then you have the stereotypes. I love stereotyping the drivers. So if you have any Florida State decal memorabilia, forget about it. Forget about it. It's a wrap. They're going to be erratic. They're going to tailgate. No turn signals when merging. Forget about it. I'll be honest, they're at the pinnacle of the worst. Florida Gator fans, they're usually in trucks. And let me be honest, they're not great either. But they're better. They're a little better. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen one civilized Florida State decal car driver. Can't tell you one. All fucking nuts. Out of state plates. Next up. There's a few to keep an eye out for down here. The biggest one is New York, obviously. Now you have a lot of good New York drivers. I think upstate New York, they got that shit down. Upstate New Yorkers seem to be fucking pretty solid stand-up people, from what I've experienced. And I'm not saying New York City or anything. I met great people from all over New York, but in terms of civilization and behavior advancement, I'd say upstate New York, they're a little bit further ahead. So now you're gonna have some New York plates that are not gonna be like that. You're gonna have a lot of them that are gonna be up your fucking tailgate. No turn signals, just that aggressive, reckless driving. Not bad, just aggressive and reckless. Could be dangerous. I mean, yeah, I guess it is. It's considered bad. I mean, it's not. They're not out there hitting curbs, which we're gonna get to our next stereotype. The beautiful woman driving luxury cars. Very common here in Tampa. Hi, Kitty. What's up? You taking a seat right here? Very common here in Tampa. Now, these ones, they're especially big in South Tampa, not so much where I'm here in Clearwater now. It's more just the Mexicans and Hyundais that love to speed and tailgate themselves. Now, the beautiful girl in the luxury cars, you could guess probably like mid-20s to 30s to 40s. Could be mom, could be single, could just have a boyfriend or fiance, no kids, maybe a kid, maybe not. Probably working a marketing job or finance operations. Obviously, they're probably doing well if they're, a lot of bad bitches, successful bad bitches. Maybe sales, probably sales. Sales is fucking huge here. Everyone's a salesman here. But when they're driving, they don't know how, they can't drive the car. You know what I mean? They can't drive the car. This one, I'll never forget it. One of the most beautiful women I've ever saw in a white Range Rover. This is in South Tampa. Was going to do a U-turn, and I mean it was a big U-turn. She had a lot of room to play with on the U-turn. And she takes the U-turn going into the the right furthest lane towards the fucking sidewalk. Oh, just creams the fucking sidewalk with this oh my God, my nails just crinkled up for those fucking tires. Oh, she may have scraped the front of that Range, because there was Range Rover bumpers. They're pretty low. So that took a fucking hit, but she just caked this fucking corner. And I know what it is. People have slow hands. That's the number one leading cause of bad drivers. It's just slow reaction time. I mean, let's just be honest. And when the older you get, the slower you move your fucking hands. Or say you're a little, say you're so big you can't move your hands fast either. That's the other issue that I think happens. And I love watching, because I look out for it now. When I see someone that's a bad driver or a slow turner, I'm like, they probably have fucking arms that they can't move fast. They have slow reaction arms. That's it. If we had people, I think they need to teach that in driving school. Reaction time, teach fucking have faster arms and hands, Don't be so slow with the hands, but they can't. Their arms and hands aren't keeping up with they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna swing this U-turn, but they can't. Just come on, girls, come on, ladies. Arms, hands, move them faster. Turn the wheel. Really turn that motherfucking wheel, because you always just let it release it and let it come back. I think they need to teach that in driving school too. Release that wheel, let it come back. Hands, fast hands, ladies. Anyone. Beaters, the next stereotype. Beaters, beater fucking 70s truck. I mean, you'll see some beaters here. Now I'm thinking of more. We're thinking of a lot more now. But we'll go with this one. Beaters. All right, so usually older gentlemen, 50s, 60s, 70s. Oh, they're usually that odd job, looking for scrap metal and shit. A lot of those honestly, I had a lot of those in Pittsburgh, but here they're just a different breed, because every beater truck, they could be hauling one little 8x10 piece of wood, and they'll drive in the right lane with their hazard lights on, with their windows down, and they're always on the phone. They're always on the phone, no matter what. On the phone with a piece of 8x10 wood, with the hazards on, driving slow as fuck. When I was going to that soccer game, I was on I-4. There was literally one of those. He had an 8x10 piece of wood slanted against the cabin of his truck on the phone, hazards on, slow as fuck in the right lane, which is great. As long as you're in the right lane, that's fine. But you don't have to go 30, brother. You could speed it up a little bit. Those are some of the worst. And then we said the older white. Oh, dude, I'm just, all these memories are coming back to me. I'd love to see. I wish I had a driving log of how many hours I put in, or I wish I set the driving log on my speedometer, odometer to see. But I'm having flashbacks now. White woman, 60-year-old white woman, Caucasians. Whew. You talk about a fierce breed. Now I'm not even 60. You could group it in. Say the 40 to 60-year-old, right before they lose their hands and reaction time. Because some of them, I'll be honest, some of those girls got fast fucking hands. Those ones drive aggressive. Maybe they're in the Air Force. Maybe they're in the military. I don't know. Most of them just probably work corporate jobs. But I'll tell you what, I was driving home yesterday, or was it Wednesday? And this 60-year-old woman, I've never been tailgated so hard. No turn signals when merging. Just fucking reckless. Reckless out here. But yeah, the beaters will get you, dude. You got to be careful for them. You just got it, because if someone's going slow on a highway, that's probably why. South Tampa too. I saw a lot of that in South Tampa. It's just so widespread here. So many people, vacationers too here, that you really don't get some of those true ones. But I tell you, this is the true Tampa. You'll see all of this for sure. Of course, the car meetup. Now this is a huge car meetup city. Huge car meetup city. Probably one of the biggest. I remember Gasparilla. They were doing burnouts in the middle of the road right across from the bridge to take you to St. Pete towards South Tampa. They just fucking destroyed the road with, tire marks. So those motherfuckers are out. So here's the other stereotype. It's the gearhead. You're going to see some Subies, some fucking Beamers. I'm the furthest thing from a fucking car guy. But you're going to see some swagged out vehicles with some swag out. That's all I've been hearing around here lately. Some people got deer run through the yard at night or run across the street. No, we just got fucking car nerds out. Running that shit up. It's fucking intense. It's intense, everyone. I don't know. And then, yeah, like I said, they meet up at strip clubs and they just get down, man. I don't know. Car people are... That's I don't know what's worse. Is it Greek life or is it the car meetup? I saw some car meetups get out. Now that we're on that topic, the car meetup gang, they've been getting kind of out of line lately. I saw, not even just here, I guess anywhere, you got too many wild cards in the fucking mix, people with guns and shit. I saw one dude pulled a gun out and just started popping off at a car meet, Could just be at an In-N-Out Burger or a Wendy's or a shopping center, and a car meetup shootout. They should do. Damn, maybe we could do the car meetup sports league, car meetup fight league. You do a car meetup boxing match. Because the car meetup should do that, because they're not doing enough at the car meetups clearly to keep themselves fucking entertained. So that's why they're always pulling guns out. Now, now they're resorting to, it was just good enough to car meet at a fucking In-N-Out, get a burger and fries and rev some engines and go talk to people. Now they're getting bored. And here's the thing. I used to hang out with car people when I was younger. This is all just coming back to me now. And it's fucking boring, dude. All you do, you just stand in parking lots and sit there and talk. You put your hands in your own, yep. That's a nice V6 right there. How much you get that for? You've been looking on Craigslist lately for any parts? Yeah, I've been looking for I want to get 20s on them. I got the 22s right now, but Might want to go down to them 20. It's that talk for hours. And I'm like, where's the fucking party? What's going on? Where's the action? I don't have enough time for that. I got bored quick of the car meetup. Operations. It's just, but they're getting bored. So now they're resorting to violence, and I see why. It's all coming full circle now, because if I hung out in the car meetup crew till this day, I'd probably be one of those people acting out of line at the car meets. So they got to get, they should do like boxing matches. You go to the car meet, you meet, but then say, oh, there's a boxing match at 11 o'clock. And then we're going to do a dunk tank. Maybe you get you put up whoever loses the boxing match at the car meet gets put on a dunk tank, and you dunk that motherfucker. And then maybe you send some money to charity, and you stay away from the violence. They could put up a basketball hoop. They could just bring a makeshift sand-filled basketball hoop in a parking lot and have a basketball game at the car meet. People that run in these car meets, you got to get creative, or you're just going to see an uptick in violence. I saw people just start ramming other cars. They'll just come to the car meet and just start bashing into people. Like, what the you got some crazy people, but it really is like. And then I worked with two guys in my corporate, I guess this fucking postpartum corporate, life. The one job, the dude was like, if you weren't the car guy, he was not fucking with you. And the other guy I worked with, he was in the cars, but not, and this guy was the car Hitler, he was the Third Reich of cars. And I drive a fucking Nissan Rogue Sport. I'm not out here, impressing anyone. And I didn't hear the end of it all day. He's like, when are you getting rid of that piece of shit? When are you getting rid of that piece of shit? When are you getting rid of that piece of shit? I'm like, dude, it's a 2020. It gets 30 miles to the gallon. What are you talking about, brother? It has CarPlay. I don't need anything else. I'm fine. He had this souped up. It was a Ford. It was souped up, and it was loud as fuck. You could hear it from miles away. It had all the stickers on it. It was the vocabulary is beyond my comprehension of how much, I would always troll him. I'd go on cardictionary.com and just look up phrases and drop them by him. And he loved that humor, but yeah, he was not a fan of the non-car folk. You had to have your fucking shit down with the cars. Then I worked with a car dude here. He was not, he was very fucking intense and is still intense to this day, but wasn't, he accepted me for not being a car nerd. He's like, all right, dude, we can talk about other shit. It's like, oh, that's not my whole life. But those people are, that's where all your money goes. You say you're only making $50 to $80K a year and you're paying other bills, but your passion is project car. You got to live at home, I would assume, unless you're making bank and you own property. But in this economy, I assume you're living at home with your parents and you got garage space, you got yard space. You just have all these project cars. And you just go to fucking work. So yeah, that's a stereotype you got to look out for. And then one last one. There's one last one that we have to look out for. It's just truck drivers in general. You got the souped up pickup trucks, the Morgan Wallen types. You have to look out for them. That's it. Last night they let the liquor talk. They are, you get fucking ran off the road by a Florida truck driver. They talk about the Civil War going on. I mean, dude, you're putting up a bunch of ROTC kids up against Florida truck drivers with fucking rifles and guns in their fucking trucks. That's a tough. That's why they got calling the drones and the airstrikes if we ever get to that point. That's the only way they'll ever win, because they were probably going to run through some ROTC guys. That's like you're safe because you got those militiamen. That's like the militiamen people. They all got the huge fucking lifted truck, probably full of fucking guns, just ready to run you the fuck over. They do not care about your existence. They do care about the opposition to the deep state, though, which I get behind. People probably see me in my Nissan. I look like such a fucking, Gen Z, like super dupe lib in a fucking Nissan Rogue Sport. But meanwhile, I have the character of someone that drives a Tacoma. I feel like, that's probably going to be my next vehicle is a Tacoma. or a sedan, maybe like I like the Subaru sedans. I fuck with the Subaru sedans. I'm not going to be a car meetup Subaru guy, but I do fuck with them. My dad's been a Subaru guy his whole life. I have positive experiences with Subaru. Toyota, nah. I'm not fucking with Toyota. Just not. My sister and mom have one. They're just they're the Walmart car, you know? Other than the Highlander or the Tundra or the higher end Toyotas. But when you're talking Corolla, Camry, or RAV4, let's be real. We could do better, folks. We could do better. But I didn't talk about my fucking week. Went to the Steeler game versus the Buccaneers. And they didn't scan my ticket. I could have just walked in that motherfucker. I wasted $40 on a preseason ticket. And that was the other thing, the ticket price. I'd been checking it since May. Of course, back then it was $5. Then it peaked to $40 when I bought in the group. Of course, at the worst time, we got $45. But then not even a day or two after, it dropped to like $20. So it is what it is. Steelers are going to jack the prices up. And Steeler Nation was out in full force, of course, because 80% of the people there probably lived here. But of course, you had a lot of the Steeler fans on vacation, which is good to see. I love Steeler fans cannot handle the heat, though, and it was fucking hot. Let's be honest. But the Steeler takeover, I was in the upper deck, but of course, I moved all around that bitch. I can't sit still. So I went up there for the first drive. Kenny Pickett. I mean, it was majestic, right down the field. Touchdown score. They look good. Steelers look good. Besides the point, despite being from Pittsburgh, I have a horrible Pittsburgh accent. I can't do the Pittsburgh accent very well. But it's hot up here, Nat. And the one guy's banging a seat. Rip his fucking head off in a preseason game. Baker, you're fucking garbage. They're intense. Bringing the intensity to Raymond James. But then the ones up there, it's hot up here. It's so hot up here. I mean, no shit. You see the weather. You see the real feel. It's 120. You know what to expect, but just go walk somewhere and sit somewhere else. Down in the lower bowl, there was some good shade. But yeah, the heat, I mean, I think it's finally breaking. The heat's finally breaking. There's more rain rolling in. Let me tell you guys, it was bad. I mean, last summer, I can't tell you one day where I was visibly just didn't want to go outside. I always wanted to be outside last summer. This summer, I've had days, especially last week and the week before, where I just won't go outside because it was that fucking bad. But it's finally more than normal, and it's because of the westerly winds, apparently, the El Nino or La Nina, something with that going on that are causing it's an onslaught of that western heat, that dry air. We need more of that southern tropical moisture air, which I think we're starting to get now. And them hurricanes be motherfucking cooking up pretty soon. I saw there's like I think we got two systems to monitor, both about a 40% advancement rate, so we'll see what happens. I hope nothing on this side this year. Or at least just give me somewhere to evacuate to. Or honestly, probably not even going to have to. It was wild last year. That was like, they had that line right over my apartment at one point. So like we had to, but I don't think that's going to happen again next year. I think that was I don't know. This golf side, we just seem to have that. It even, once it hit land over here, it broke down. A lot of the strength broke off. And they said even if it does hit up here, like direct hit on St. Pete, the outer barrier islands are good, relatively good at breaking the storm down, and it shouldn't be too bad. But the Steelers got the win. It was great. It was great to see the Steelers, even, the third, fourth team. Of course, preseason gets pretty boring after the first drive. But the Subs balled out 27-10, I believe. And then how about this? Right after that, I went to see Matt McCusker from Matt and Shane, the legendary podcast. One of the best nights ever. And I've only been to two comedy shows, which is crazy. But every time I go, I have amazing nights. And I feel like he hates this. I feel like he doesn't. He's more of the podcast king. You know, he's more of the brains in the operation of the podcast. But he crushed the stand-up. Crushed it. Solid hours. Openers were good. And the side splitters, shout out the side splitters in Tampa. That was like, I didn't expect that. And I really didn't realize how spoiled I was with having a world-class comedy club 25 minutes away. I mean, it has that old school, you know, Northeast feel in there. You feel like when you walk in there, you feel like you're back in, like, I feel like I'm back in Pennsylvania a little bit. You know, I feel like I'm up north. And people rave about it. So yeah, they had a great show there. And then, oh fuck. The Purple Promise, FedEx could sponsor my whole life, and I wish FedEx would sponsor this podcast, if anything. But my FedEx rep took me to play the Valspar golf course, which is aquí in Tampa. Very beautiful, one of the best, probably the best ever round of my life, despite being 115 real feel in the heat index. We played the back nine first, just kind of played like shit, but the front nine was worth it. Played immensely better, you know, gambling, me and the FedEx rep versus his boys that he brought. We almost won it all. You know, we won the front, lost the back, lost overall by 1, but we were out there grinding and shit. It's nice to have a good relationship like that, you know, with a rep, someone taking care of you. You know, we're taking care of him. We're giving him that business. But yeah, FedEx is pretty. Like I said, UPS, they don't fuck with you. Like we have a UPS rep. I don't hear from them ever. I once through email, and I asked them because I needed help with something. They really didn't seem interested at all to talk to me. So I don't know what does a UPS rep do. It seems like they just kind of sit on their ass and are kind of ignorant and take the benefits of that fucking union, you know, that new union contract, the union bennies. But yeah, I'm a big Matt and Shane fan. Not my all-time favorite's Joey Diaz of podcasting. It's great motivation, and the catalog is so long. You could just dive back to 2013 and hear them talk about when Jennifer Lopez did the halftime show or whatever. You know, when ISIS was big, when Obama wasn't, when Trump won. You know, that I like that raw history when it happened, and that's kind of a cool thing about the Bayside Report. You can go back to this shit in 6 years and be like, oh, remember when fucking Trump got arrested for the 5th time? Now we have a fucking robot as president. Or, you know, Kamala Harris is fucking president. Who knows? You're going to look back and be like, yeah, this is a history class right here. But the golf course, yeah, dude, that fucking golf was, I mean, it was just pure. You talk about pure. And you're walking that course and you're like, damn. Jordan Spieth took a piss right here. Justin Thomas maybe shit in these woods. You know, you're just thinking those good. You're thinking you're walking the land of legends because it really is a huge event here. It's a huge fucking golf event. And I went to it and I played it. Talk about a bucket list. And school's starting. School is starting. School has started here. I think, you know, school's pretty much been in operation here for about 2 weeks. They send the motherfuckers back here early. And, yeah, school in Florida, I feel like it goes long. You know, they get out a bit earlier, but it's not much earlier. Not much earlier than the Northeast. I feel like the Northeast still got another week or two. They probably go back next week. It's a great time of the year. I mean, here's the thing. This time right now, it's a great time of the year when you're young and you're like, ah, fuck, I gotta go back to school. But honestly, once I hit high school, that feeling goes away. I didn't like junior high or elementary. I was like, fuck school, you know. But once you get in that groove, it's okay. But even in high school, I was like, oh, school, like, it's not bad. Especially junior, senior year, when you're just kind of, you know, you're almost at the end and it's getting more fun. I really took advantage of high school. Having fun in high school. I did high school the right way. I knew you don't have to try too hard in high school. You know, you're going to get a bailout attempt in either trade school or community college, which I took the community college route for 2 years. I was kind of aware of that. My dad kind of drilled that in my head young. He's like, dude, listen, if you fuck up, it's fine. You have community college, 2 years, live at home, and then you could go wherever you want. He told me that at a young age, and I remembered that. And I used it. High school was just that you put a little whiskey in your glass in the morning on the way in. I remember we had a senior skip day, and at this point I was in a college and high school program, in the aviation flying program. But it was senior skip day. No one was there. I went because I was supposed to go to the program after, so I put a little whiskey in the coffee cup and went to school, and I was fucked up by second period. No one said shit. No one really. Maybe it was just my high school, because where I grew up was a little bit of a unique area. But high school really was, people would get paranoid about misbehaving, but nah, dude, that's the time to misbehave. That's the time to get into as much shit as possible, in my opinion. Now, am I going to condone that on my kids? Am I going to tell my kids to do that? No. I want my kids to be nerds. 4.0 on the chess mock trial and golf teams. But if they find that out themselves, we'll get there when we get there. But high school, yeah, I mean, I did another college in high school. That's a brand new fucking thing, I guess. Not brand new, but new. The college in high school courses. I did one my junior year of high school. How do they decide? If I got the assignment as a professor, like, all right, we're going to send you to a high school. It was every Saturday for, a few weeks in a high school, like Saturday at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. How pissed would I be pissed? I'd be like, fuck. But that's like I feel like that's the initiation of being a professor, a new professor. They're like, all right, you're on the college and high school class duties Saturday, 7 a.m. It's a writing class. A bunch of juniors, fuck, that would be rough. And I know being a professor, not as luxurious as they make it out, especially if you're just an associate, teaching the basics. But that class we had a writing assignment, and this was kind of nearing the peak of my high school degeneracy, just running around smoking weed. That was it. Just kind of, not taking shit seriously, not really doing the bare minimum with school. So we had to write a story. And I'm more of a nonfiction. I'm not a big fucking fiction. I read Harry Potter. I read the first 4 Harry Potters, and then by the time I got to the 5th, I was like, this is pretty fucking stupid. I don't follow. Number one, I'm British, mate, and I'm going to Hogwarts. I had enough. Superheroes, never. I never even played with a fucking superhero. I played with Thomas the Tank Engine was about as non-fiction fiction as I got. And that's still a fucking train, which is somewhat real. I stuck to the real world. Shit. So non-fiction, yes. That's what I wrote. So I wrote a story. We had to pitch it in front of the class, which was like kind of like, why don't we just write the story and you grade it? So she's like, all right, everyone, tell me what your story is going to be about. So I pitched my first one. I was like, all right, so it's a kid in high school. He works a part-time job as a busboy, but he's fed up. His boss is a degenerate. This was kind of real life. This was my job in high school. His boss smokes a fuck ton of cigarettes and drinks a bunch, and he's fed up. So him and the boys get together in his pickup truck. And I didn't do this part, but they start going around and stealing items from the farmland, because we had like the rural area where I grew up. I was like, they start stealing stuff from the rural farmlands and selling it. And then they start making a killing, and they go through the trials and tribulations of success and failure when they get caught. And she's like, dude, which in hindsight, I kind of agree. She's like, yeah, that probably wouldn't, there wouldn't really be much of a climax there. They probably get caught pretty soon. So I came back with a better story. I was like, all right, yeah, you're kind of right. It's kind of a garbage idea. So how about this? I made one about, it was me, it's kind of like my situation of where I live. So where I grew up on my block, it was cops. There was a cop there, cop there, cop there. Lawyer, though, if you needed off, we had lawyers down the street too. 2 lawyers, 3 cops. A fucking detective, you name it. It was a pretty federale neighborhood block to grow up on. So I didn't do this either in real life, but the whole gist was, it was more this kid growing up in that neighborhood with eyes on him. Kid got eyes on him, and he's just a dirty, hustling kid, playing this good kid persona. But meanwhile, he's pushing weight out of the basement door, and his parents are kind of busy working. And at the time, my dad worked nights a lot, so I rewrote it. I was like, oh, the dad works nights, the mom's never home, and he just starts selling drugs out the back. And, I was like, yada, yada, yada. There's a climax where he gets involved with the wrong gang, and they threaten him, and blah, 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 blah. And then there's a, resolution, and boom, he's okay. He quits. He gets out of it. Everything's fine. Something like that. And she's like, okay, it's a little better. That's a fun class right there. But I wonder how she's like, I'm really listening to this 16-year-old pothead's fucking dream book idea of him selling drugs. And then it was with all the me and honors students. We just didn't get along. I took 2 honors classes throughout high school. But those, they were like bullies, dude. The nerds at my high school were bullies, if that makes sense. And they were the worst kind. They were not fucking nice. If you showed any sign of, if you're lacking a little bit, they're gonna torch into you. So imagine all of them. They were writing about, and then the princess in the castle goes and fucking does a backflip out the window and goes and sucks the dick of her boyfriend, that she hasn't seen in 5 years. Prince Johnson, some bullshit, some fiction bullshit. We're not about that. We are not. This is a non-fiction association. But they all heard that. We're like, oh, gasp. The one dude's probably a fucking NSA engineer right now listening to this shit. Like, damn. That's what Garrett's up to, making a podcast about this. So yeah, that's my kind of school, I guess high school, but no, real college. This is the best time. Like college, when you're living away from home in a fucking apartment. I'm telling you, when I lived in Oakland, Pittsburgh, this was like they call it O week. It was like the orientation week. It was always this week, 3rd week of August. And then we'd start next week. And you're just, the air, there's just this energy in the air you can't replicate. And that energy gets robbed around November. Once Thanksgiving hits, it's like, okay, it's kind of sucked. But it lasts, and of course when the weather's nice, but it lasts until October, November. Everyone is just on one. And the energy's a little different in the spring. It's not the same. It still pipes up a little bit towards April, May, June. But I'm telling you, the 3rd week of August into September at college, if any of you are in that position right now listening, I'm telling you right now, fuck yeah, you're doing it. That's even, and even college is kind of, with this economy, if you're just going for a general business degree, let me tell you, it's rough out here. It's rough out here unless you're in Chi Kappa Sigma, whatever the fuck. And your dad's Brian Johnston, CEO of Johnson Incorporated, then yeah, it's tough sledding out here, mate. So enjoy that shit while you can. But there's a lot coming up, folks. There's a lot coming up. We got the Yankees, Rays coming up. My good buddy Dundee, he's coming down next week, 7 days from today. He's coming on the podcast, hopefully a week from today or next weekend. Football, of course, everyone. We're almost there. 2 more weeks of preseason. I think they do the week off in between still. Yeah, I'm sure. So that, and then I think we start, November, September, yeah, like the 8th, 9th, something like that. That Thursday night game. Looking forward to it, folks. Looking forward to it. I'm going to West Palm Daytona this weekend. Going to go fuck around with the Mongol bike gang, go pay our respects to them. I love the East Coast of Florida. Let me tell you, it's just such more of a laid back atmosphere. You actually have establishments on the beach, where here it's all just tourist bullshit. It's all tourist shit, or it's paid parking lots, or it's homes. It's actual towns with accessibility right on the water. It's way better. It's way better in that regard. Obviously, our water and beach itself here blows that shit out of the water. So there's a fair trade-off, but I always love to go up and have a good old time in Daytona, New Smyrna Beach area. That's about it, everyone. I think that's really it for today. A good podcast, good talk. Good talk as we make our way out. Thank you for listening to the Bayside Report podcast, and have a good week.